Welcome to You Can Do It. So we're going to take the head off of this Mini N19. We've already got the front end swung off because I'm checking everything else out. I mean, it doesn't matter how you get to this position. You might do it with the bumper, the front on, or pulled forward or whatever. But now we need to start basically taking this cylinder head off. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do, we're going to take out the O2 sensor here because you have to take that out. And then we take this cover off, which is a bolt there, one there, which you don't need to actually take out, just loosen that because it's got a little slot in, so it pulls out, one there and one there. And then we can take that top cover off. And what I'm going to try and do is take the whole catalytic converter and exhaust and the whole thing off as one lump if I can. Although I think I actually need to take the cat off to get some of the bolts, but let's see. So let me take that one. Then you've got 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then we can get this I've got to take this off the bottom, so you just pull that red thing up and then we can take that out, because we've got to undo these 3 here to take this off, and then we can take this whole manifold off. All right, so now we've got a bolt there to undo, one there to undo as well, and then we have to undo the one that goes in there, which is down there on the floor. That goes in there, otherwise you can't get this thing off, and then this turns. Get that out, yeah, comes turns, and then you've got freedom to take this off. Okay, so let me take that right off now. Okay, next job to take this bracket off. There's a bolt in there, 13mm and a 13mm there, so let's take that off. Right, while I went in for a cup of tea, I undid the drain plug under there, and I've just drained the oil out of the engine, because when we take this off, you're going to get there's oil and water, but we've drained the water, I've now drained the oil there, so I've left that's all done. Right, so we're back up to here now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to undo that one and that one, I think maybe that one, and this panel will come off. Then we can start looking at taking this whole lot of it. We need to undo it here and here, but let me just do this first. Okay, next we've undone this one here. Careful, there's 2 washers, one either side. So this is your coolant water for your turbo, and then over there down here there's you can see there, look, there's there, so I'm going to take that off of the thermostat housing. So I've just undone that clip, squeeze that clip there, and then I can just pull that off, and this whole lot here will come off, because you can't actually get that off even though when you take that bolt, because it catches on here. So I'm going to take that whole thing. So we've taken the bottom hose off here. So this is the recirculation pump for the water when you turn it off. So there's a connector there, so we'll try and get that one off, and then we can I'll just disconnect the pump. Taking off the oil return pipe, taking that off. So now what we can do is we can start undoing the bolts for the manifold. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top there, and 6 along the bottom there. So I want to undo those now. Before I do that, I've just lifted that off, pulled out the heat shield there. There's the heat shield that goes down there. So I'll pull that out, and then what we'll do is we'll undo this, which is the oil feed for the turbo, which is 17mm. Right. The turbo and the inlet exhaust manifold are off, plus there was the gasket there which has come off. If you look down there, it's not too bad. Okay, take this opportunity just to release the cap on there on your oil filter, and I've just undone these 2 little bolts. You just got 2 little thing there, because this bracket clamps to the oil filter housing. And take this off here now. All right, got the cap out, filter out. Now we'll just undo those 4 bolts and take the housing off. We've got the filter off. So you can see there's only those 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's nothing on that side there. Slightly strange setup, but anyway, that's that. And then over here, we've got the filter, which we're going to now go and replace these seals. But these seals actually seem really good. This is from Germany, this vehicle, so it's been really well looked after, because they're serviced by BMW. But that seal, these seals here, look, are normally really hard, but these are lovely and soft. I mean, I'll change them anyway, but they're good. That's why it didn't leak in the first place. And then we've got these here, which we need to undo. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's some seals in there, which I'll change them as well. So let's get about changing that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 torque bits there. So let's undo those now. We'll take this. That's off. You see? So this basically is where you've got water and oil. Water and oil coming past each other. So you've got, yeah. So we need to replace these. These are looking quite flat, look. So it's time to, we'll replace these seals here. So I'm going to clean this up and we'll replace these seals here. Put it back together again. So this is the water. This is the oil. So obviously if these fail, you've got a chance for the water and oil to mix. Right, that's on there nice and tight. I'm not going to replace these now and put this back on because I'm rebuilding the engine. So obviously if you were going to do this, if you're just doing that, you're just going to replace those seals in there, bolt that all back up, and jobs are done. And put a new filter in it. But yeah, I hope this has helped someone. I mean, there's lots of videos out there, but there's not a lot of videos that's just actually showing you where the bolts are, and just a really simple video showing you how to replace the seals, but also the actual layout of. Well, it's quite. And actually, I didn't realise that the bolts there that hold that bracket for the little pump, little additional water pump, actually are connected to this. I thought they were connected to the gearbox, but they're not. They're connected to that. Right, what I'm going to do now is just take this pump off here, unclip all that, and I'll remove that, and then it's just the cable. It just keeps it tidier. When I'm going to take the gearbox off anyway. But let's just carry on with the head. So we've basically done at the front here now. So now what we're going to do is move over to the back and take the inlet manifold off and get that ready at the back there. Okay, so now we're all done at the front here. So now what we're going to do is start doing the back. So we need to take this inlet manifold off, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's 5 bolts. And there's a bolt underneath here. Now, people say you have to go through the side, but look, if you here, basically, this is my hand, it is just, the bolt is down there. So that's with my finger there. If I pull that through, the bolt's just there. It's about there. So I'm going to put a little thing in there and get that bolt out there, because there's a bracket underneath that holds that. So you can have these undone, but you still can't pull it off. And we've got all these connectors here, so we'll take these off. And I'm going to undo this connector along here because that's got to come off anyway. So we'll start by taking these off here. All right, that's off there. So I'll undo those 5 bolts there, 5 nuts there, which are 13mm. And then there's the one down the bottom there, there's a 10mm, which holds in there. I'll show you how to do that. You see, look, I've got that there. And that's taking that bolt out. I've got the bolt out. I actually just put a larger adapter on there just so I can just turn it quickly by hand. Yeah, so that's that bolt that goes there. That's for the manifold. Okay, now we can just undo these ones here. So I've got sockets there. I'll just undo those 5. Now I've got it all loose, but there's a clip here that holds this cable here. It holds all these cables down here. So you need to take that clip off there, and then you can start moving this because it's tied down. Now you don't need to take this out, but I'm going to try and take it out anyway just to check things over underneath. So I need to take that thing there because that's holding it down, and then I think I can pull it up and we can disconnect the connectors. So you've got that off, right? You've got a plug on the bottom of your this plug here. Let me just get that up for you. Because you have to get off of there. There's a little tab on the end there. Pull that off. You pull that plug off. You've got one here. You need to pull that off of that little tab. It's just a little rubber mount there. And you've got another one there. You need to push that little rubber mount off there. Then you need to undo this vacuum pipe here. There's a vacuum pipe here. So you push your finger in there and pull that vacuum pipe off there. And then we can gently try and pull that out. So let me do that and I'll be back. All right, so look, you can just get your screwdriver there, look. You see a screwdriver there, look. And you just push that off there. So that's that one off. So I've done both sides of that. Now we've just got that vacuum pipe to take off, and we then take this. Got a little that cable. You can see that in the centre of the video. There's a little cable clip. You've just got to take that out of the cable clip off. Look, you can gently pull the whole system out, and you've got one more connector there on the bottom of that. So I'll undo that. Right, I've left that one all connected up with the electrical connector, just so I don't get them mixed up. So I'm taking that one off, and I've put a little mark on there so I know it's definitely this one that it goes to, because it's quite easy to get all mixed up when you put it back together. I believe those two are the same. On how to take off the vacuum pump. So all you need to do here is we need to take off this vacuum line here, and there's two bolts. There's one there where my finger is, and then there's one here, and this, look, is what holds a bracket that holds another bracket which goes the water for your turbo. Okay, so we've got that bolt, which is I think 8mm, and that bolt, which is 8mm. We'll take this off now. Because of this thing sticking up here, I don't know whether we can get this out far enough to pull it out and then get it down, or we might need to take this off to be able to get that out. But let me just check. I think I can do that without taking that off. Okay, so we can just take this off here, look, gently, and then take your pump out. So the seal, look, is stuck on there, so we can take that off. Right, on the workbench here, this is looking like an 8 in there, so this could be the original. It says 08. You see it there? So this is the original vacuum pump. So I'm just going to, feels good, but I'm just going to quickly just whip those 4 torque nuts off and just check it, and then I'll know whether I need to buy a new one or not. All right, that doesn't look too bad. There's plenty of oil in there. I've just put a little tip, just put some little bits of grease on there, look, and they just hold those little 2 end pieces in when you put it in. The wash, it wasn't leaking oil, but that rubber doesn't look like there's much left in it. So I'll either have to get a new seal for that, or I'll just get a whole new pump, because it's from 2008. And these, if they seize up, trash the engine, because then the cam timing all bolt snaps, and then it all messes everything up. So it's worth it. I'll have a look, see how much a new PA bag is, and see. So hope this has helped someone. You've taken off your pump, you've had a quick look at it. Obviously, if it's needs replacing, replace it. If it's not, just put it back together again. This has obviously done a few thousand, and it's looking worn. It's the original, so I'll probably get another one just to be on the safe side. But it looks fine. I mean, it's got plenty of oil in it, and it's lubricated, because if these run dry, they seize up, and then game over. How to take off your high pressure fuel pump. So now normally you've got your air filter situation. You take the air filter out on the tube that comes down there, but that's all. There's millions of videos on how to do that, very easy. Then the pump, all right, you've got 3 bolts like that on it. You see that little torque bolt there? You've got one there, another one underneath. So we're going to try and get those bolts off now, and I'll show you where they are. Before we do any of that, we've got the high pressure fuel line here. This is a high pressure fuel line. This is a low pressure, okay? So the low pressure, if you turn that like that, you've got that little thing there. Now stick a screwdriver in there hard and push down that way, and you should be able to pull that off, okay? And then we can get this one off. All right, okay. I've got a bit of tissue under there. You get a 12mm open-ended wrench like that, so you can fit that on there. It doesn't have to be open-ended, but it just stops you rounding the edges off, and then we can just crack this high. This is high pressure, so you're going to get a bit of fuel come out. Yeah, we put that on there like that, and then just there. Bit of a squirt of fuel there. Oh, and again. Now we've done it, so now we can take this one off. Now I'm not going to take it off here to start with, because I'm going to just hang that out here for the moment, because I haven't got my tool to take that off. So there's 2 little square plugs in either side, and you've got to squeeze that in with like a pair of pliers to get that off. So now what we've got, now we've got that loose, I know that's loose, I can now undo my 1, 2, 3 bolts. Yeah, so I'm coming on, there's 1 bolt in there, there's 1 there, and then there's 1 at the back here. You can just see where my finger is there. Okay, so let me undo those, and we can take that off, and that'll stay on that, and I can just take that off. And then we can check it to see how worn that is. Right, look, I was having a bit of difficulty getting that one off, so I've taken it off and left it on its side, right? So you disconnect that plug there. Now that plug there is probably the most difficult plug on the whole engine to get off. Unbelievable, because you squeeze it as much as you can here, and they just won't come over the little clips. So sometimes you have to put a screwdriver up there to get that off. Right, now how are we going to test this pump to see whether I mean, it works fine, not a single problem with it. It was running fine, but we all know if we put a measurement down here, got your vernier calipers, set it at 0. All right, and then what we do Get your thing there, you want to put it down that diaphragm there, look. And then run that down there till it hits, which it is, and then measure that 28.5. So that pump is literally days from not working, because it's at 28.5, 28.6 basically, and it needs to be running between 9, basically by the time it gets to 28 it's basically run out. So it won't be long before that completely packs up, so it needs to have that pump reserviced. Now I've got one which I've done, but what we'll do is I will put this pump back on and just check if it runs, because I don't know whether the other pump, just check if the engine starts up and runs properly, then I will change that for another pump that I've adjusted. But look, 28.58, so that is literally about shot, because a new one is about 18, 19. So that diaphragm has basically moved in, and there's been like slight oil leak on there. So that pump is on its last legs. So good job I checked it. Right, so we've got the pump off. We've got the vacuum pump off. So now what we can start doing is taking this off here, and then we can get ready to actually take that engine mount off. But so what we're going to do is start taking off the wiring here. So first of all, take that up. I'll put my 3 bolts back in here just so I know where they come from. Right, so I've taken that off, pop those out. As you open that up, that pushes them out. And then you've got to do a 10mm here. Now this is really, really critical, so make sure that you remember this. So, because this is the earth for your plugs. You won't get a spark if you don't put that back on. So I'm going to actually put a little tab on there, just to remind me. There's a little bit, yeah, so done that. Then this comes off here, right? About ready to start taking this cover off, but before we do that, we're going to take all this paraphernalia underneath. So what I've done is I've put an axle stand, I put a jack just on the lower engine mount support there, because I'm going to take the sump off. So I'm just going to hold it up on there while I'm going to take the sump off and change the pistons. So now what we need to do is we need to take off this auxiliary belt, and the way we do that is we take that off there, which takes all the tension off the auxiliary belt. And then we also have to take off the this little idler here, which is there's a little tab there which you pull and clip up. I'll show you that. You've got a little tab here, yeah, which you just pull. It comes out, and you pull that like that, and it's got a little slot in it. There. So I've pulled that out there. Look, it's tapped in the slot there, which was in. What that's done is taken the tension off this idler here, which basically drives your water pump. Now I can see that they've put a new water pump on here, and this is new, so I don't need to replace that, which is good. And this tensioner here is new as well, which is really handy. So now what we can do, this is your auxiliary belt, yeah. So some tell you to take this off, but you can actually get it off without, but it's easier if you want to just unclip this just to give you a bit more space here. Okay, now first things first, we'll get that's the what's that, 30mm adjustable, the adjustable spanner or something, and then you can do that, and then you lock it in with that pin there. So let me do that. It's in there and locked in there, which then means that belt can now be taken off. So let me just go back down under here. Look, the belt is loose. We can take that off. Okay, I can't get the last one of that undone, even with my impact on that on this socket here. We've got to do these nuts here, look. So I've undone 1, 2. This one, someone's putting a different one in here. So what I'm going to do now is I need to actually lock the flywheel as if I'm going to do the timing. So what we're going to do then is we're now going to take this top cover off. So these are 10mm, so we need to take all these off, and then I can take the cover off. So let me just rattle those off. I'll be back in a second. All right, look, we're up under here now. We've got to get, there's a bolt there. There's another one further up there, look. See at the top of the frame. And there's another one on the other side. We've got to get those off so that we can actually get this bit here off, yeah? Now you can drop the engine down. But... All right, so to make it things easier, I'm going to start taking all this off now, yeah? So I've put a little mark there just so that you remember to put this earth strap on, because if you don't put that strap on, you're going to have all sorts of problems, right? So basically that's an earth strap in there. There's a bolt there, so careful when you undo that, the bolt drops out the bottom. So let me take that off, we'll take that off, and then we're going to just get this, this, this and this, and we'll take that off. Okay? Right, that frame's all gone. I've supported the engine there just by, actually, this goes around the pump here. It's supported with a jack on the other side, but it'll tend to rock if you don't have that. So now what we'll do is we'll take this off, yeah? So it's 1, 2, 3 bolts. We'll take that off. That just gives us a bit more space. You don't need to do it. You can try and work around, but it just gives us a bit more space. And while we've got the luxury of this open area here, might as well get lots of space. That's all gone now, which means it's really easy to get to those bolts there. I've got 1, 2 there from the top and the one at the bottom. So I'll undo that, and then I can take out that idler. Right, lovely, that's out the way now, look. See, that's, you need to get that to get the cam chain supports in. There's one there, and then there's one behind here. So now we've got to undo this. So we'll undo this and this. And you've got this cable here, which runs the cable to the alternator. Got to undo all those bolts. We'll get that off. Just for those that, you know, because there's a lot of videos out there that show taking this off, but you don't know exactly where. So we've got a bolt there, bolt there, bolt there, bolt there, and then connected to that, it's another bolt there, and the same on the other side, which just holds this cable for the alternator. So we'll undo these two, and then this and this and this. Right, so now we're ready to do the... This, and the lower crank bolt. Now, when I undo this, I'm just going to get someone to hold here with a 27mm spanner on the. There's a hex there you can put there, just to, so you're not trying to do it on that. So we can undo that one just loosely. I'm not going to take it off, loosely in that one, and the one at the bottom while the chain's all still tight. And then we need to take out this this Vanos valve here. There's a little bolt here on the side, take that, and then that comes off, wiggle that out, and then I can get a spanner, a 27mm spanner on there, which is the tensioner. So then I can undo that, take that, and the chain becomes loose. Then I can take that off and take these off fully and pull the whole. Oh, then we need to start undoing those, but I'll come to that in a minute. Okay. This is the bottom crankshaft bolt, and this is done up quite tight, so I think that's 18mm. So I need to get an 18mm socket on that, and I'll turn that. Now that's locked by the flywheel locking pin. So we can undo that just loosely. Okay, we've got those loose, but whatever you do, do not use these to lock it, as in use that to undo them. You put a spanner on there because you'll just mess these up big time, trust me. So we've got that one loose, we've got that one loose, right? So now what we can do is take that Vanos valve out there, which is a 10mm retaining nut, undo that, and then we can take that out, which allows us then to undo the tensioner. Right, you have to wiggle it a bit and then it'll come out. Now this is a telltale sign because we'll see. Right, I'll put a little bit of rag there. That'll come out and have a look at that. Let's have a look how dirty that is. Oh, look at that. Only little tiny little bits of stuff on those filters. Oh, that tells me that's been well looked after, this engine. Just put that in a little plastic bag, a little kitchen freezer bag or whatever. Just put that in there, keep it nice and clean, so it doesn't get any dirt or dust on it while you're working on the car. So I'm going to put that in my storage unit. For any of you that might be interested, here's my little, I've got a little down here, but here's all the parts just like neatly laid out in the order that I've taken them off, just so that I have some sort of idea which way I took it all off. Okay, let's get back to it. Trusty 17mm on there, so it's worth getting yourself one of those sockets for that. You need it for there, or one of these spanners, sorry. And then I'll undo that. That's loose now, but I'm not going to take that out yet. So now what we're going to do, well no, actually, I'll undo that now. And then what we need to do is take this one off, And then we've got 2 more under there, which I'll show you in a second, which we'll take off. Plan. I'm under my tensioner now. I can do that by hand, it's not too tight. Now, this will probably have the longer one in it, because it was done by BMW. And what this aftermarket, well not aftermarket, it's a improved tensioner, which is just a bit longer. But all that does generally is just right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll make sure I've got a piece of rag in there, just so that you don't get any dirt and shit goes in the Vanos valve hole. Okay. In fact, I can put it back in once I've. Let's undo this. I'm watching for Christmas to dry. There we are. So that, yeah, so that's the longer one. It's a lot longer than the original ones were a bit shorter. So all that means is it takes up more slack in the chain, which is good in one point, but it just means that the engine is more and more retarded as life goes on before you change that, before it starts giving the dreaded knock. So actually, it's good in one way, but bad in another. All right, so I'll leave that there for a minute. Next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to loosen that and the 2 underneath. You can see the 2 there, one there and one there. So we'll just loosen those 2 to make sure they're loose. Then we'll undo this, undo the 18mm there, take that completely out, take those other bolts out, and then we can pull the whole case out. So that's all come out. Remember, you need to take your dipstick. You take your dipstick out first because that goes through the covers. So then you take that pin out the bottom, obviously completely undo the nut here underneath there, look, so you can see there, that's a chain that you see there is for the oil pump. So that, and then you can just pull the whole thing out like that, which is over here in one complete unit. So look, that's that there. Slightly, so basically BMW wouldn't give you the service history of this because I wasn't the owner that had the service done by BMW. Anyway, this turns out to be a blimmin', in the logbook it had, in the service book it had, the little service book you get with the Mini, said this has been changed in after 30,000 miles. But this, I can see there's a date stamp on it, it's 2020. So it's only like 3 years old, this cam, chain and everything. So it's a bit of a waste really, but still. I thought it was looking a bit pretty good nick to say it's done. It's supposedly done sort of 80,000 on that cam thing. So that's been changed. Anyway, back to the job. All right, now, next thing to do is we take the head off. So everything's off from the head. I've still got the injectors on there. I'm going to try. I'll do those when it's off. So I've got this one here, so that you do it in reverse order. I think that one there, which is a small one. Then you do that one. Then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the middle. Yeah. And the reason you do that is so that you don't sort of get it to bow up or anything like that. So let's get on and do that then. So I just need I don't know what it is, an E10 or E13 or something, and I'll just crack all them off like that, and then we'll be able to take the head off. Then we can take the sump off, and then we can get these pistons out, put some new piston rings on them, and then of course I've got to come back and do the head. But this is all. I think I'll do the pistons first, get all that sorted out. Then I'll work on the head. Okay. All right. All those bolts are out. You basically undo it the sequence. These two, you need to move these about a bit to get the bolts out. So you just use a magnet on a stick. Now I followed the L ring on here. Look. So I just did the opposite way round. So 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to lift this off now. Now make sure you've got I've got somewhere there already set up for you to put your head, because you don't want to be like struggling with that. So I'm going to lift that up, and then I'll probably rest it on this edge. I haven't taken the injectors out, and I just want to make sure I don't damage anything there. But I don't know exactly. I haven't taken them out before, so I just didn't want to take them out here in case I did something wrong or leave them against here. So I'll just try to take them all out in the head, and we'll see. So let me lift that off. Right, we've got the head off. There she is. Looks, I mean, for a petrol engine, it's ridiculous that they get so coked up. I mean, it's insane. It's supposed to be a sports engine. Plugs are all quite nice colour, so that's okay, but look at the state of that, that always needs a clean up.